before making this lineup, I went back to look at the mistakes, like why we are here, and I found that I was partly mistaken. Like I was blaming all those losses to our tactical organization, but I came to discover that a lot of those mistakes were from personal mistakes, like individual mistakes. Like even if we go back and start with the Bournemouth game, the first goal we considered was a penalty conceded by Caicedo. The second goal we conceded was like Semenyo getting better of a Champong in that wing, like that D area. We go to Wolves. The goal we considered was the Sanchez catching the ball and then leaving it in a corner. Then the other guy, was it Kilman, just getting the ball like handed to him to score. Then if we go to Man City, the goals we considered, the two goals were Sanchez mistakes. Then the other goal was Chaloba just leaving Foden to go and try to help Colwell, who had all his strength on Haaland. Now, if you look at all those scenarios, you'll discover that we could avoid conceding all those goals if these guys didn't make those mistakes. So, a lot of it, while we had problems with ourselves, it has always been certain people making mistakes and having us concede the goals. And now, the problem, even from the time you are flying high to this time you are conceding a lot of goals, has never been about defense. I think our defense has been like constant, like consistent in making those mistakes, conceding those goals. We have like the fewest clinches in the top 8 teams. Now, the problem and the reason why we are going through this patch is because we are not scoring a lot. When we were scoring a lot, we were also conceding, like we would win 4-3, 4-2. Even with Wolves, we won 6-2, 3-1. The reason why we are going through this rough patch is because our strikers are not scoring a lot. We have always been conceding all those silly goals. Now, when we go to Wolves, how are we going to prevent this? Is first to prevent the individual mistakes. The only way is not shift the whole team. It's just to find like those people who are prone to mistakes. We substitute them. Like we find people who we know or we expect them to make the fewest mistakes, to substitute those who are making the mistakes. Then try and switch around the striking, because all our goals, sorry, have come from Palmer. And if Palmer is not performing, then we are not scoring a lot of goals. And this is why I came with this lineup. Now, I've replaced Sanchez with Jorgensen because Sanchez is the guy who has made a lot of mistakes. I hope Jorgensen, I'm not saying Jorgensen is a better keeper, but I feel Jorgensen will make fewer mistakes. And with the defense, Colwell, Chaloba, we don't have a lot of options there. The only other option is Tosin, but Tosin is right centre back. I don't think we should replace a right centre back with a left centre back, like a right-footed player with in a left-footed position. That's why I'm starting Colwell. And Chaloba with Tosin, I'm not sure. They can start either. But I'll prefer Chaloba. James is the best at that position, so I'll put them here. Cucurella, the best at that position. In mid, we also don't have options. Like the only other guy that you can put there is Hall. Lavia is not there. And if I'm told to choose between Enzo, Hall, Caicedo, I'll go with Enzo. But I'll make sure that if in 70th minute Enzo is not playing us, like is our beater, is a world class player, but he always gets tired and is making a lot of tackles, wrong tackles. So in the 70th minute or whenever we go ahead, like if we score 2-1, 2-0, and we are ahead, I will bring in Hall just to help with the defensive duties. Now in front there is where I think we have to switch a lot of things. First, a lot of our goals or a lot of our balls usually pass through Palma. Like Palma, in many of our attacks, usually has the most balls and is always trying to create something. And if you have ever played ball, and if you see a ball a lot, you'll know that the person who has the most like touches or the most balls and takes time to try and create something will always lose the ball. And now I have seen in the previous games, like we don't have a midfield that can control the game or take the ball immediately we lose it. That has been our problem. And because Palma is the attacking midfielder and is always near the center of the field, whenever he loses the ball, it's a turnover to the other team. And those turnovers are usually taken advantage of because we don't have like the midfield to really try and prevent anything. So if we are going to make Palma our main person and we are going to feed a lot of balls to him, we are also going to expect that he will lose the ball a lot. And if he's losing the ball a lot, we have to put somebody there to really help recover those balls. We have tried that and it has not worked in our case in the previous game. So the other thing is to put him in a place where if he loses the ball, it's not immediate danger to our team. And I think that's why we need to put him in right wing. He can receive a lot of balls there, but whenever he loses it, it's against Caicedo and James, and it's on the wing. Like it will not be like quick turnover to the other teams. They'll have to replan, and that's why I think it's very critical that we put him there because even there he'll have a lot of space to affect the game than in attacking mid, like in that 10 position where is usually man marked. Like a person can man mark Palma and still create and still fill the spaces there. If they man mark him in right wing, we will have certain, you see, opening in that area. And now the person who replaces him is Felix. I'm not saying Felix usually like does not lose a lot of possession. He also loses a lot of possession. But if you are going to take a lot of balls to Palma, like Felix will be getting few goals and he will also be getting a few like spaces. And if he's getting spaces, getting few like touches, is not making a lot of is not losing a lot of possession and is trying to create us something. So that what makes that dynamic like work for us. Then Jackson, the only people that can replace Jackson is Nkunku and Gui. And I think Nkunku is not better in that position, that number 9 as Jackson. We have tried several. Even when he replaces him, he doesn't do whatever Jackson usually do. And I'm not expecting like Gui will be better than Jackson. I think if we don't get another striker, then we have to be satisfied that Jackson is our number 9 until the end of the season. I'm sure he'll lose a lot of chances. But he's still our best number 9 in that position. Now, it's Sancho. You can have either Sancho or Neto. Sancho is so good in low blocks. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I'm not sure if he's confident enough to shoot, but either of them, Sancho or Neto. So this is my lineup. This is the lineup I think that we can beat West Ham with.